Title: The Last Ride, the tragic tale of Jimmy. In a world where dreams often collide with harsh realities, Jimmy's story illustrates the inevitable consequences of choices made in desperation. Once a spirited young man, Jimmy grew up in a neighborhood riddled with crime, where the stark contrast between aspiration and the gritty environment often left residents yearning for escape. But for Jimmy, that escape soon morphed into a life he never intended to lead, a life of crime and chaos. The streets molded him. Jimmy was born into a community that had long been entangled with crime. His childhood friends, any of whom had fallen into the allure of gang culture, paved the way for his own descent. He found himself swept away in a lifestyle filled with flashy cars, quick cash, and a prevailing sense of invincibility. Yet, beneath the bravado, struggles of his environment began to take their toll. The loss of loved ones, friends steeped in violence, and a betrayal that came with loyalty to the gang took shape as tragedies in his life. The streets that once felt like his playground soon transformed into a prison of despair. One by one, Jimmy lost everything he held dear: friends, family, and ultimately a way out. The senselessness of it all drove him deeper into a life he had once only observed from the sidelines. The desperate turn, as the burden of loss weighed heavily on his soul, Jimmy found himself at a crossroads. Life had stripped him of joy, and the idea of robbing a bank began to take root in his mind, an act of desperation, perhaps, but steeped in the belief that it could provide a fleeting semblance of control and power. It was a reckless decision that would soon propel him into a chaotic sequence of events that would seal his fate. With a mask drawn over his face and adrenaline coursing through his veins, Jimmy drove to the local bank. The robbery was quick, fueled by the madness of the moment. But he didn't anticipate the weight of despair that would follow. As sirens blared and red and blue lights filled his rearview mirror, Jimmy's heart raced not only from fear, but from a realization that he was about to lose everything again. The high-speed chase. What ensued was a perilous high-speed chase, the kind that plays out in movies but felt all the real for Jimmy. The adrenaline surged as he weaved through traffic, desperate to escape the consequences of his actions. In those fleeting moments, the sound of helicopters thumping overhead and police cars pursuing him felt like a twisted symbol of freedom, a last-ditch effort to reclaim his life from the wreckage. As the chase escalated, so did the stakes. Jimmy's mind darted between survival instincts and the haunting memories of his lost loved ones. Every twist and turn reminded him of the choices he had made, the friends he had lost, and the life he had thrown away. Despite his reckless pursuit of escape, he felt increasingly trapped, both physically and emotionally. The inevitable climax in a cruel twist of fate. The chase ended in a way he never could have anticipated. A sudden collision, a moment of inattention, and the car he believed would be his savior transformed into a vessel of destruction. As the vehicle crumpled under the weight of impact, Jimmy felt the life he fought so hard to reclaim slipping away once again. In those final moments, as the world faded to black, he was left reflecting on the trajectory of his life, a journey marked by loss, longing, and an unyielding desire to escape a reality that had consumed him. Conclusion, a cautionary tale. Jimmy's story serves as a poignant reminder of the pervasive challenges faced by many who find themselves trapped in the grips of a ghetto lifestyle. His tragic end illustrates not just the dangers of a life steeped in crime, but also the profound impact of environment and choices. Though he might have dreamed of something more, the streets ultimately molded him into a product of their chaos. His final ride, one fueled by desperation and desperation alone, echoes the struggles of countless others who grapple with similar demons. In the end, Jimmy's life became a cautionary tale, a testament to the consequences of a world where hope often seems overshadowed by despair. As we reflect on his story, perhaps we can glean the importance of community, understanding, and the need for compassion in nurturing the dreams of the young, steering them away from a path that can so easily lead to loss.